Week 9, the result shows for the English Premier League, and these matches were played on the 20th, 21st and the 22nd. Let's start with the early kickoff. This was at Stamford Bridge, the highly anticipated match between Chelsea and Man United, and early chances for Chelsea as they took control. Willian, after 10 minutes, and the shot just over the bar, and then a few minutes later, on 20 in fact, Chelsea got a corner. The corner came over, and Rudiger amazingly manages to lose his marker, Paul Pogba, and fires in with a free header from 5 yards. De Gea had absolutely no chance. The goal, well, ask Pogba about it, I would suggest. Chelsea were quicker to the ball and had much more of the possession in the first half. United struggling. Matic was particularly slow, although I was impressed by Mata, who come on 2 weeks earlier to make a difference against Newcastle. And him and others had managed to contain Hazard in the first half. The second half, United much more purposeful and much more aggressive, and they were rewarded on 54 minutes when a shot by Mata was parried by goalkeeper Kepa, and Mata retrieved the ball at the byline, crossed it over, it was fired back across the area, and Martial controlled and finished it crisply to level the scores. After that, De Gea made a great save from Conte, but then United starting to boss the match now with their aggressive style of play. On 74 minutes, breakaway, Mata managed to get past his marker, and he won a 50-50. His right foot cross was helped onto Martial again, who neatly created a yard of space and hit a sweet strike inside the post. United in front 2-1. After that, it was to be expected that Chelsea threw everything at United. Giroud came on for the increasingly inept striker, and Barkley came on as well. United also substituted with Herrera and Sanchez coming on for Rashford and can't remember, came on. And anyway, as a result of all these substitutions, 6 minutes was added at the end of the match. Well, it looked like United were going to last out. And then we got to the final minutes. The ball was centred to the back post. Luiz got a header on it, and it hit a post, rebounded out. De Gea made a great save, but he only pushed it out to Barkley, who swept the ball home. The bridge exploded, and what followed was a nasty altercation in the dugout when one of Maurice Sarri's staff was rather over-exuberant in his celebration as he ran to Mourinho not once but twice to gesticulate with him. And Mourinho reacted and certainly wanted to do some damage. 2-2 was about right in the end. So let's move on. Cardiff and Fulham, both newly promoted and both desperately in need of a win. This looked like it had goals in it, and yeah, it really did have goals in it. In an exciting first half, 4 goals were shared 2-2, both defences showing their leaks. Schürrle, the German, hit a great strike on 11 minutes, and then 15 minutes, Murphy replied with a shot across goal, and then an error in Fulham's defence fell to Reed, who shot through the keeper's legs, and then 34 minutes, Sessegnon made it 2 each with a nice finish. After the break, though, Cardiff certainly looked the more purposeful. And on 68, Patterson squeezes in a shot into the corner. And 3 minutes from time, Harris at the far post, only his second game, prods in the fourth. Cardiff deserve winners. Big problems, I think, at Fulham. So to the Etihad. Manchester City entertaining Burnley, and they had De Bruyne back on the bench. The game got started, and within minutes, a nasty challenge by Company that was left unpunished by the referee. And surely, if it had been later in the game, it would have been a yellow and possibly a red. Anyway, Dyche was furious in the post-match interview. City then took control, and on 17 minutes, Aguero, who else, opened the scoring when it was put on a plate by David Silva's cross. It was a great team goal. Hart, playing against his old club, made 2 good saves to keep it to 1 at the break. Then on 54 minutes, a ridiculous situation emerged. Sane went over in the box. The referee didn't award a penalty. The ball rolled out, and as it had crossed the line, Silva, who had continued to run for it, swept it back across goal with all Burnley defenders statuesque and Hart, and Bernardo Silva whacked the ball into the roof of the net, and the referee awarded the goal, 2-0. Well, 2 minutes later, on 56, Fernandinho made it 3 with a lovely side-footed effort that crept in the side, the left-hand side of Hart's goal. That took the stuffing out of Burnley then, and Mahrez added a third with the goal of the game, a superb shot from outside the edge of the box. Mahrez was very good throughout, and then on 83 minutes, Sane got the 4th, converting Mendes' cross, and that was it. So, to the John Smith Stadium, Huddersfield versus Liverpool. Well, we were all expecting a rout here, and it didn't turn out like that. It was a pretty dull spectacle, all in all. And Lallana was back on the bench, Sturridge in for a Firmino, Shaqiri in for Mane, who'd had that operation. And it was the Swiss who put Salah through early on, and his right foot shot went in the corner. After that, the Terriers held their own. Hogg hit a post. Alisson made a couple of good saves, but Huddersfield unlucky. It ended 1-0. To the London Stadium. London derby, West Ham against Spurs. It was a pretty good game to watch, attacking game. Spurs definitely had the better of the first half. They started De Miller. That was his first start this season, and he shined. And it was De Miller on 44 minutes who opened the scoring with a nice flicked header from a Sacco cross. Fabianski kept it to 1 before the break. Into the second half, though, West Ham dominated, and it had to thank Lloris, who made 3 great saves, 2 from Arnautovic and a third from another of the finds, Anderson. They also had a goal chalked off for offside by Hernandez, and would count themselves rather unlucky to have lost this one. So to Molineux, Wolves at home to Watford. Wolves on a good run, and they fielded the same side for the 9th consecutive match. That must be a record. Watford lost their way in recent weeks. but it was pretty even for the first 20, and then 2 Watford goals in as many minutes as first Capoue from outside the area hit a sweet strike that Patricio was left completely static. Maybe he was unsighted, and then a break down the left led to Pereira giving a delightful finish across the keeper to make it 2-0. Well, to be honest, after that, Wolves never recovered. They did fight bravely, and they had slightly the better of the second half, but they rarely threatened the Watford's goal, and the Watford's defence were pretty resolute as Watford inflicted a 2-0 defeat on Nuno and the boys. Now to St James's Park, and Brighton were the visitors. It was a pretty disappointing game all in all. It was decided by a huge deflected goal from an Izurdio strike. There was a very unsatisfactory event that took place early in the match, a collision between 2 Brighton players, completely accidental, but led to Murray ending up going to hospital. Thankfully, he only got concussion. Shelvey and Kennedy had good opportunities that may well have gone in on another day, but they both went over, and Shelvey's was saved by the keeper. Houghton's troops hung on for the 1-0, and Rafa and his Newcastle boys are in deep trouble now at the bottom. To the Vitality Stadium. This was a local derby of sorts, Bournemouth entertaining Southampton. Well, little to report really in a dull first half. They were cancelling each other out. Lots of huff and puff and endeavour, but very few clear-cut chances with defenders on top. Southampton had the best opportunities, and the last one for Gabbiadini saw his header fly over the bar. That was with just minutes left on the clock. So it ended a goalless draw. Sunday's solitary match saw Crystal Palace heading to Goodison Park. It was a reasonable sort of match to watch, but lacked a little bit of excitement. 2 late goals from the Toffees, one from substitute Calvert-Lewin, a neat header on 84, and the other substitute, Tozan, running onto a hoof down field on 87, and the Toffees got the points. Worth a mention that Pickford made a penalty save before Everton scored. It's a disappointing day for Hodgson. Saha left alone up top. Really, that didn't work at all. Everton are now up to 8th. And so to the Monday night match. Saw brief highlights of this. Arsenal against Leicester at the Emirates. Leicester were very impressive in the first half, and Gray was troubling the Arsenal back line. And on 31 minutes, they took the lead when Chilwell's cross was deflected in by a challenge by Bellerin. After that, Maguire went close with a header, and it was neatly pushed away by Leno, who was in for check. After that, it kick-started the Gunners, and just a minute before the break, Ozil, looking impressive, interlinked with Bellerin to finish in style. After the break, when Arsenal went up a gear, and Ozil was basically running the show, and again an exquisite pass from him to Bellerin, who then set up Aubameyang on the 6-yard box, and he couldn't miss. The same player got a second a few minutes later, another fine team goal with Ozil involved, leading to a tap-in. So that was it. 3-1 to the Gunners. That's 10 winnings in a row for the Gunners. That's title form if ever I know. And that's how the fixtures finished. So it's Liverpool and City joint top. Chelsea have dropped back following their draw. Newcastle, as I said earlier, are propping them all up. An encouraging win for Cardiff. Goal of the week. Well, it's Riyad Mahrez's 4th goal for City. That beautiful curled left foot effort. And he is really looking a bargain now. That's it.